Right. Everybody, can you hear me? All of you? Is my voice audible? Okay. One second. Oh. Okay. Give me 1 minute. We'll be starting the session. Online people, everybody, please change your chart to everyone and you can chart here. Go ahead. Voice. Is my voice is clear for all of you? Last benches. That is totally off, right? 4. Okay, fine. Okay, good. Is it on? Yeah. Okay, fine. Let us start the discussion. Online people, can you hear me? All of you, am I audible? Okay, so what did we discuss in the last class? Go ahead, please. Elastic. What is the purpose? Why we need elastic IP address? One at a time. Anyone? To avoid changing the public IP address. Why? Because whenever you're stopping your server, obviously what will happen? Your public IP address will be changed. That is a default behavior. So what I want to do is I wanted to make it permanent. I don't want it to change it, isn't it? So that's why we have created an elastic IP address yesterday. So how many of you are clear with this concept? Everybody clear with the concept? Anyone is having any questions on this? Go ahead, please. Any questions? Okay, first of all, let me share my screen. Already I'm sharing my screen, right? All right. So can you see my whiteboard here, friends? Yeah. So far what we have done is we have created a server on our AWS console, otherwise in our AWS account. And after creating this server, so to log into the server, we will be utilizing public IP address. Very nice. And after logging into the server, we'll be having, will private IP address changes if you are stopping and starting the server? Private IP address will be there. It won't be changing until you are terminating the server. Until you are removing the server, public IP will never, sorry, private IP address will never change. But what about public IP address? It will keep on changing. So to avoid that, we have attached elastic IP address. Everybody clear? So far what we have known is how to create a server, how to log into it, how the IP addresses are behaving, right? So now today, let us understand one new requirement from the client. So what my client is asking me is, boss, you have created a server, that is fine. But I would like to configure or host or install, whatever you wanted to call. All these are different terminologies in IT people will be utilizing. What is the terminology here? I need to configure it, I need to host it, I need to install. So my requirement is right now, if client is saying I wanted to configure or host or install a website on my EC2 instance. That means what? Linux server? Question mark. This is a requirement, friends. How to do it? Anyone? How to host, how to configure, how to install a website on a virtual machine. First of all, We have to understand 2 to 3 points here. The first point I would like to ask you is, what is a website? Yes, friends. Collection of web pages, very nice. What is a web page? I can take that as an answer. Very nice answer. Collection of web pages, that I can take. Yes. What is a web page? Question mark. Yeah. So a web page is nothing but it has been written in an HTML language. Simple. To display something, to display some information over the web. We will be writing the code inside which language? I said that is a web page. So created in HTML code is called as a web page, and collection of web pages is called as a website. And if this website is configured on a Linux machine, this Linux machine, until now this is a normal Linux machine. So this Linux machine will become web server. That's it. What do you mean by web server? Which is a virtual machine or a cloud machine or a physical machine, whatever it is. On top of it, if you're configuring a website, then it will become a web server. Simple as that. Everybody clear? Understood? No, not collection of websites. Okay, you can go ahead and say that if you want to, but if you are hosting a website on web server. Now this is first, okay, point that I told you to, understand. The second point is how to configure. Yes, how to configure a web server. Isn't it? If something needs to be done, we need to additionally install some software or not. What do you think, people? So on a normal Linux machine, we need to install additional software. So immediately we need to understand how to install something on a Linux machine. How to install something on Linux machine. Example. Okay, guys, now I know a lot of you guys are very new to IT, very new to what you call Linux. Everybody, a lot of you guys are new, right? So now let us understand this with a comparison. What is that? If you want to install anything on Windows, let us compare it with Windows. This is my trick to learn Linux operating system. If you want to learn Linux operating system, always remember compare with Windows. Because already we know how to do it on Windows, right? Yeah. If you want to install something on Windows, what will you do? First of all, we need to download that, right? What we call that? On Windows, we call it as a, can I say this? Software. And example, if you want to download and install some software on Windows, you'll be downloading which file? What is the extension of the file? .exe, .dll, whatever that naming convention, .microsoft installer file or whatever. Yes or no? So now let us understand. In Linux operating system, a software is called as, what is that? I cannot hear you. Not only RPM, there is a naming convention for it. Package. What we call it as? That's it. In Linux, the software is called as what? Package. Now, if it is Red Hat based operating system, the package extension will be .rpm, Red Hat Package Manager. .rpm files will be there. And in few other operating system cases, it will be .tarbals or .gz files, zip files will be there. Even then it would be working fine. So even if you have the extension or no extension, still it will work. Are we clear? No compulsion that you should be having a extension like Windows. In Windows, if you don't have the extension, it won't understand, isn't it? Your Windows installer will not understand what it is. Are we clear on this? Right. So now let us go back to Windows again. I'm comparing step by step here. In Windows operating system, if you want to install anything, what will you do? First, you need to download this, right? Imagine that you downloaded it. How to install it? So we'll just hover our mouse and then we will do what? Double click on it, isn't it? Because it is a graphical user interface. If I'm double clicking on it, who will understand this double click? Your OS will understand and it will open a wizard. You remember? One window will open and then it will ask you a few questions. What is this? Where to install? What do you want to call it? What is the path? All these other questions. So you have to fill up those answers and say next. Fill up those answers, say next. Fill up those answers, say next. Isn't it, friends? So obviously, who will be doing it in the background? So if you open your task manager, anyone, if you open your program files, you will be definitely seeing one service running, Windows installer. Have you seen this? If your Windows installer is not there in your Windows laptop, can you install any software? No, not possible. So now what is this? Windows installer is a tool. This is an installation tool utilized in Windows. It is a tool to install your softwares in Windows. Without this Windows installer tool, you cannot install anything. Simple. Now in the same exact sense, in Linux, there should be a tool or not? Installation tool. Then only Linux operating system will understand how to install a package. Are we clear? Yeah. So now how to install a package on Linux, everybody. So we have few command line tools. Everything we are doing on Linux is a command line, isn't it? A command line utility. So we have a tool called YUM, Yellow Dog Update Manager. Is that clear? What is YUM here? Yellow Dog Update Manager. That is the naming convention of that particular. What happened to this? It is not going away. Just give me a second. What is happening with this? Okay, strange. Go away. Not going away. Okay, let us. Oh, okay. It is doing some circus here. Okay, fine. Fine. So what is the installation tool? Yum. All right. There is one more tool here. RPM. Red Hat Package Manager. Either ways, I can install a package. So I am talking about Red Hat operating system, Red Hat based operating systems here. So if it is Ubuntu based operating system, Linux operating system, we'll be having apt get, apt install. So different installation tools are there. 90% of the times we'll be going ahead with yum here. All right. So this is the installation tool. Now, how to install any package here? This is English like language. See here, yum space install space. Now you have to download whatever you have to understand the package name. So what is our requirement here? To configure a website which is developed in .html. That means for static website we are looking at. All right. So to install a website, otherwise to configure a website, to host a website, we have to install a package called HTTPD. What is the protocol of web servers? HTTP. What is the protocol of Linux? SSH. What is the protocol of website? Everyone, have you ever wondered whenever you're going ahead, are you watching it, friends? So let us say I'm using this. It will be giving me HTTPS. Are you watching this, friends? This is secured HTTPS. If you have this SSL certificate, you buy this SSL certificate, then you will be getting HTTPS. If not, what is the protocol? HTTP protocol. Is this clear? So based on that, they have created one package. Package name is HTTPD. Sir, why they are calling it as HTTPD? Because whenever you're installing anything on Linux, it will be running in the background. D for daemon. What do you mean by daemon? Ghost. We cannot see ghost, right? So that's why that is the reference they have taken. So these processes, whenever you are installing it on an operating system, it will be running in the background. Are we clear? So that's why they are called as background processes called as daemons in Linux. So that's why it is what? HTTPD. So what is the organization who has created this? Somebody was saying that Apache is the owner of this. So they have created this. Are we clear? So this is how you will be downloading and installing. So what yum will do here? So yum will by default do, everybody, three things. First thing, it will download the package. Second, it will install the package. Third, it will verify the package if there is any mistakes. Otherwise, if there is any compatibility is missing or whatever, it will verify it. So all automatic process. These three activities done by one tool. What is the tool name? Yum tool. So, but in what is difference between RPM and yum? Someone may ask you. Anyone? In case of RPM, you have to download packages manually. Automatically, it will not do. Who has to download the packages? As a, yes, friends. As an administrator, you have to download it manually. You have to install it manually, and you have to check everything is fine or not. So it is a manual process, three-step procedure. What is that? RPM is the three-step manual process. But in production servers, we will be going for RPM. Because RPM, using RPM, whatever packages you want to download, you can decide. In production, we need to be very careful, right? Whatever package is required, only that package should be installed. But with yum tool, it is little dangerous. In case of a production, what will happen? It will automatically download whatever dependencies, all the packages it will download and install itself. Sometimes this may be a problem. So that's why most of the times in most of the production server cases, we'll be going for RPM. Don't worry about it. We'll be understanding that later. So in our class, what we are doing? Yum tool. So we don't have any production systems here. Directly we can go ahead and do. And I'm not saying in production systems, I'm not using yum. I can. Are we clear? Okay, fine. Good. Yeah, Vidya, that you can do it, but in a different, httpd.conf file, we can define the port also. But by default, HTTPD will be utilizing a different port number. We'll talk about it. So what will happen here, friends? Everyone, after installation, it will download, install, verify. Can you remember this? That too, this is an automatic process, friends. Everyone, this is a automatic process. RPM is a manual process. Okay. Question mark faces, right? Okay, don't worry. We did not do the activity. So that question will be clear. Let's understand. Fine. Once we install the HTTPD package, why we are installing HTTPD package, friends? To configure a web server. You got the point? To configure a web server on your Linux machine, we have installed HTTPD package. But immediately, you need to understand one more thing. What is the default behavior of HTTPD? By default, after installation, what is the default behavior? By default, HTTPD service will be in inactive status, friends, or it will be in dead status. It will not be running automatically. If you want to configure your website, you need to start it. Sir, how can I know that it is inactive or active? Isn't it? So for that, you need to check the status, everyone. So how to check the status of HTTPD service? Yes. What is the command? Service. Yes, sir, and that is right. Absolutely correct. But service name. Service name, HTTPD. What is the status? You can go ahead and do action here like that. How to remember this? My trainer back in 2007, he trained me like this. How to remember, Srikanth? Service. What is the command? Service service name, state action, status. You can check the status. Instead of checking the status, you can start it, you can stop it, you can restart it. All these options you can use along with this service HTTPD command. Everybody. So first of all, I'm checking the status. What is the default status, friends? Can you remember this point? So it is your responsibility, meaning an administrator's responsibility to start it. Remember this. Every time you are working with any software in your, what do you call, Linux, we will be checking the status, isn't it? Everyone, make it a habit. Whenever you are doing anything, first check the status, whether it is up and running or not. If it is not running then and there, that is a problem, isn't it? But if it is running and there, you can go ahead and understand what is the other problems. All right. First of all, you need to understand what is the status of it. I checked it. I checked the status. It is in inactive status. Then what should I do? So I need to start it. How to start it? Again, same way of remembering that command. Service name, HTTPD, start. I'm going to start it because by default it will be in inactive status. We need to start it. Whenever this is in the start, how can I know that again? You can again check the status. Now, if you check the status, everyone, I am trying to make it very, very clear for you. Service, HTTPD. If you do this, the status will become active or running. Green color. Are you understanding that? Just try to remember like this. Everybody clear? This is what it will do when you start it. After starting it, question mark again. What to do? Okay, to start, after starting it, whether you know, is your web server up? No. Whenever you're opening any web server, everybody think like this. All of you. Whenever you're opening any website, let us, what is our famous example? So I'm going for this, right? Flipkart.com. The moment you open Flipkart.com, what can you see here? What is this page? Okay, I need that answer. What is this? Of course, home page. Can I say that? When can you say Flipkart.com is up and running? If you can see home page as the answer, isn't it? So now from that, let us go back. We need to understand what is the first page we need to create for our web server? Home page. Okay, fine. You got that answer. Home page must be created first. Fantastic. But where to create? There should be a location, right? Linux is a command line interface. Everything is a file in Linux. Every file will be having a location. Now my second question is where to create this home page? There should be a location, isn't it? So that location will be available whenever you're installing HTTPD only. The location will be available. What is that location, friends? Where www HTML. So this location will be created. When it will be created? Only after you're installing HTTPD package. If you're not installing HTTPD package, this location won't be available to you. Are we clear? Everyone. So this is the location to create your web pages. Website is nothing but collection of web pages, right? All web pages should be there in this location. Can you understand that? All of you understood or not? Yes. Now in Linux, how can I go inside this location, friends? We will be utilizing a command called change directory. If you are very new, write down CD. There should be a space after that. Then you have to give, yes, there should be a space after that. Then you have to write var www HTML. That is the location. In that location only you have to create your home pages or whatever web pages you are creating for your website. So by default, what is the web page? HTTPD will look into. So it will be looking for a default web page, which is called as index.html. Please don't change the first letter as capital letter. Please don't create with your own name. Please don't call it homepage.html. This is the exact naming convention you have to use. Everybody, what is the name of your file? First file? All small letters only, index.html. Okay, fine. Next question mark. This is my Windows laptop, right? If I want to create index.html file in my Windows machine, how can I do that? How will I do it? Notepad, isn't it? Yeah, in Windows. Again, comparison I'm doing. Left side comparison, Notepad. I will open Notepad. Correct or not? And I will be saving as, isn't it? I hope you have done it many times. Then what is the name of the file you will be giving? Isn't it? So this is how you'll do it. So using Notepad, you are creating a file inside Windows. Correct or not? That is your text editor. Guys, I am taking everybody into consideration. I'm making you understand from scratch. Please understand this. Notepad is text editor utilized in Windows or WordPad, Word document, a lot of different Notepad plus, Sublime Text, lot of different text editors are there. Correct or not? But what is the text editor as, inside Linux? Anyone? By default, text editor is VI. You can use VIM, you can use Nano, you can use gedit. Like this, n number of other text editors are possible. Are we clear? Inside Linux. But this is the proprietary text editor which will come along with your operating system. You don't have to install it. Directly you can use VIM space your file name. What is the file name? Specifically index.html. Are we clear? Nothing but Notepad, friends. That's it. Okay. So once I do that, it will open a file like thing. Everybody. Once I do that, it will open a Notepad kind of thing in Linux. For the first time, you may feel, sir, just to create a file, these many things we need to remember. Yes, you have to. You have to remember, friends. This is your life, okay? In future. All right. The moment you open that, you cannot directly write anything into it. First of all, you need to be pressing I on your keyboard. Okay, you can find I button right on your keyboard, press I. So whenever you're pressing I, what will happen here? It will be entering into insert mode. Everyone, what mode you're in? Bottom left corner, that's how it will show you, insert mode. Then only you can write something here. Let us say I'm writing welcome to CloudBots. Otherwise, my website or whatever you want to write, you can write. So if you're a good HTML scripter, show your talent on this page. Go ahead and write whatever you want in HTML tags. If you are good with it, just you can go ahead and include a lot of images, whatever, whatnot, marquees, colors, all these things you can do here. But I'm simply writing a simple welcome message, welcome to my website or whatever. Is that clear? Okay, fine. Your coding is done. HTML coding is done. After coding, what we need to do, friends? We need to save that file, right? So in Windows, what we are doing, it is GUI. Go to file, save, otherwise Control plus S, saved. But this is Linux. How can we save it? So if you want to save anything, first of all, you need to come out of this insert mode, friends. How can you come out of insert mode here? By pressing escape. See here at the left side, I'm writing. After your code is done, you have to press escape button, top left corner of your keyboard. You'll find it. The moment you press escape, insert mode will go away. Is that clear, friends? Insert mode is gone. Then what you can do, you will enter into, after insert mode is gone, you will enter into command mode. What is the command mode here? You have to give colon. Can you get a colon? By pressing shift, you have to press colon. Everyone? Only for first few times, you will feel little difficult. You have to face it. Already you have to learn it like this only. Back in the day, when I used to teach 2008, 2010, those days, I used to teach Linux also. I used to teach like this only. Always compare with Windows so that you will remember these commands very easily. Okay, shift, by pressing shift, you have to get a colon. W, what is W here? Right in Linux. Now again, one more comparison. in Windows, after creating a file, what will you do? Save and exit. Correct or not? Save means write. Exit means in Linux quit. Yes, Sareen is giving me that answer. Very nice. Understood? Save and exit. Simple thing. Same thing that whatever we are doing in Windows operating system, we are doing it in Linux operating system. But only you have to understand the commands. Are we clear? So when we are doing this activity, it will become very, very, very easy. Trust me, friends. Once you get used to Linux, you will never go back to Windows operating system. You will feel bored. Seriously. To install one software, you need to click on 10 different next buttons, isn't it? On Windows. In Linux, only one command. I'll type it, enter, done. Isn't it? Okay, anyways. So you saved it. Is that clear? So first and foremost thing is what you need to start the service. Then you need to be compulsorily, you have to be inside this location because this is the default location for your web pages to be stored. And you're creating a web page here with this particular information. So once you have done it, what you have to do? After installing, you started it. After starting it, you have added a new file, new configuration file. So this information should be given to the HTTPD service or not? Otherwise, how can it reflect the changes? Correct or not? Whenever you're installing any software in your Windows laptop, are you rebooting? It will ask you, please reboot your server to reflect the changes. Have you seen this? In the exact same way in Linux also. But here we are not rebooting the Linux machine. We are rebooting the service. What we need to do? We need to restart the service. Sir, how to restart the service? Why are we restarting the service? This is important, okay? To restart the service, it is your responsibility, friends. Mandatory. Because to reflect the changes on your website, you need to always restart it. How to restart the service? Online people, go ahead, friends. Again, same command, service name and status. Sorry, what do you call? Action. Very nice. Restart. Already it is started, right, Sarin? We are going to restart it. Understood? Simple. Once we are done with that, my web server configuration is done. Now we have one more question mark. Okay, boss, we have done it. Fantastic. How to access it? Next question we need to ask ourselves or not? How to access a website from a Linux machine? How we are logging into Linux machine using what protocol? Isn't it? You have created a server. While creating a server, what you have done, you have created a security group for it. What is the security group? SSH. Port number is 22. What is the IP address? You have selected my IP. You remember this? Using this SSH protocol, we are able to log into the server. But here I don't want to log into the server. Are you logging into flipkart.com server? No, right? You're just watching the website. You're just accessing the website. How to do it? So for web server access, I told you what is the protocol, friends? In your security group of your AWS EC2 instance, what you have to do, friends? You have to create a new security group rule. And what is the protocol you have to add here? What is the protocol for web servers? HTTP, yes. Inbound rule, that is correct, Bengal Rao, yes. Yeah. What is the protocol? HTTP. What is the default port number for HTTP? Online people, go ahead, friends. What is the port number? 80. This is the default port number. And who should access website? Flipkart.com should be available for only Flipkart employees. Will they make any business without us? Is it making any sense? No, right? Web server is for all. It should be accessed for all. Correct or not? So then If you remember in yesterday's class, I told you there are three options. One is anywhere, custom, then third one. So here I am selecting anywhere. Anywhere means if you have a web server, flipkart.com should be available for all whoever is having the internet connection or not, friends. So I'm exposing for all. Do you remember yesterday's class? We have taken two examples. One is the door number. What is the door number? The room is your Linux server. The door number is 22. What is the protocol? SSH. If you are an employee, you can come through the door because you are authorized. But as an end user, I'm just seeing what is happening in this server. Port number 80 is this window. If someone from outside is seeing what is happening, but can they log into the server here using this port number? No. Is there any security concerns here? No. I'm just exposing my website here. Are we clear? Simple. Understood? So it is your responsibility in your security group of your server, add HTTP and port number 80 and select anywhere. That's it. Understood or not? Everybody in the classroom. So then what you can do, guys? Okay, fine. You have given the security group here. After that, what we need to do? So you're a end user. You can use a mobile phone. You can use a laptop. You can use a desktop or whatever. All you need to do is what? See here. As a customer, you will be opening a browser, your Firefox browser, and you will be typing how to access it from outside. This guy is from outside AWS network, right? Very nice. How can I access? Right now, I cannot give you any domain names because we did not buy it. There's a separate discussion for it. Until that, we will be accessing our web servers using which IP address? Why? Because you are coming from outside the AWS network. So you have to use your public IP address. Please remember that. Let us imagine 1.2.3.4. What is the port number? Hit enter. The moment you hit enter, what is the output I'm expecting for my? So whatever you have written here, it should be available here. Are we clear? So welcome to CloudBots. Something like that, it should show you. Whenever you are opening any website, in the background, somebody has all these things. Somebody has done all these things. That's how you configure a web server. Everybody clear? Process is clear, at least. Don't imagine how to do it, okay? Don't imagine anything, we'll do it. Practically, step by step, we'll be doing it. But is the process clear or not? Flow clear? Fine. So now let us take one guy's name here. Let us take a name here. Okay, guys. Yeah, what's your name? Dilip. Okay, now let us say Dilip is my new guy in my office. What Dilip is doing yesterday, he removed the server. Now today, this guy is doing what? He restarting the server. He is restarting the, not the service. He is rebooting the EC2 instance. The moment Dilip is rebooting the EC2 instance, what is the effect on my website? You should understand that, right? Whenever you're rebooting it, public IP will not change, friends, okay? If you're rebooting, public IP will not change. But what is the effect on my web server? The moment your server is rebooted, your operating system is rebooted, immediately inside this server, okay? Inside the server, HTTPD service will go back to inactive status. Okay, this is the default behavior, friends. If HTTPD service is inactive status, can you get the answer from that website? Immediately you'll be getting, could not find the, have you ever get it or not? Couldn't find the web page, application down, cannot find this URL, connection timeout, network error, 505 error, server error. Have you seen this or not? That will happen if HTTPD service is going back to inactive status or dead status. Now, how to resolve this issue? As a cloud engineer, already you know this. Then what you will be doing, you will be logging into the server. How to troubleshoot this? How to troubleshoot this? We need to log into the server. Then after logging in, I'll be checking the, always remember, check the status of the service. So which service is going down? You're expecting that HTTPD is going down. That's why my website is not up and running, correct? So what I'm doing, I'm going to check that service, service name and status. Guys, why we are discussing this much, this much time, why we are spending this much time? So this is a first discussion, meaning first configuration we are doing. We should be crystal clear on this. We can do this activity in 2 minutes. That's not important. Understanding the concept and flow is important. Okay. So now when I'm checking the status, it is in inactive status. How can I troubleshoot that? I will be starting it. Start. Problem solved. Then I will be calling my clients. Okay, problem is solved. Please access your websites. Everybody is happy. Now again, after 10 minutes, Dilip is coming back. Wantedly or unwantedly, he is rebooting the server again. What will happen if he is rebooting the server again? Again, HTTPD will go back to, somebody has to raise the ticket, somebody has to get it, somebody has to log in, somebody has to check, somebody has to start the service again. So for 2 times only, it is already frustrating for us, correct or not? Exactly like yesterday. Now I want a permanent solution for this. It is becoming a problem. It is repeating, this issue is repeating. Now I need to find a solution. So how to do this? So again, yeah, even if you are attaching an elastic IP address, Vijendra, it will be still down, right? HTTPD service will go down. I'm not talking about IP address here. So one more comparison again, friends. In Windows, have you ever attached, otherwise added any applications to Windows Startup? What do you mean by Windows Startup? Anyone? Do you know this? Whenever Windows operating system is coming up, it has to run those softwares. Regardless, you don't have to run it manually. The moment operating system, the moment you're starting your Windows laptop, those softwares, Nord32, McAfee operating systems, this antivirus softwares, they will be already added to the startup. So that's why if you have McAfee, your Windows will start very late, isn't it? Have you faced this problem? So in the same way, in Linux also, I need to start HTTPD whenever Linux is rebooted. The moment Linux server is coming up, operating system is coming up, I wanted to start it. That too automatically. I don't want to log in, check it, start it. Log in, check it, start. I don't want to do it manually. So for that, only one command. Like Windows, we don't have to go to that location. We don't have to right click. We don't have to enable. We don't have to add all these things. Only one single command here. What is the command? chk check config. That's a command. chk config space service name HTTPD, and I would like to switch it on. When I want to switch it on, whenever my operating system is rebooted. Understanding or not? Whenever my operating system is rebooted, I would like to start the HTTP. If I execute that command, what will happen, Dilip? Even if you reboot the server, HTTPD will be automatically started when the server is started. My problem is solved. Done. Then you won't be having downtime for your web server, which is running on your Linux machine. This is how you will be configuring a website. Any questions on this? Everyone, any questions on this? So one more time, let us repeat this. Yeah, the entire process. Yeah, Arvind, I'm coming back. Yes, I got it. So what is the requirement for today's class? How to configure a website on a Linux machine. So to configure a website on a Linux machine, what we need to do, friends, we need to install additional software. A software in Linux is called as a package. So what package needs to be downloaded and installed? The package name is HTTPD. Everybody, the package name is HTTPD. So how to install the package? Using one software installation tool in Linux called as yum. What is the tool name? On your, the way you are executing all other commands with the other, you have to execute the chkconfig command. That's it. Everybody look at this. I'm talking about this. So after logging into the server, you want to install the web server, right? So run this command. What is the command? Yum space install space package name. Understood? And don't worry, we are going to do this activity at least 2 to 3 times. If you are having a question marks in your head right now, it will be cleared when we are doing the activity. Second, by default, if you check the status, it will be in, by default, it is in inactive status. Then it is your responsibility to start it. You have to start it. After starting it, we need to understand what is the location to create our web pages, because website is collection of web pages, right? So there is a exact place, otherwise exact path for creating our web pages. What is that path here? Where www html. So this is having a separate naming convention, friends. If you can remember this and give me in the interview, I'll be happy. What is that called as? Document root. What is that var www html folder called as? What documents? Web document root, meaning main directory for all your web pages. This is where you need to store all your web pages, friends. Are we clear on this? So definitely you should go to your document root. How can you be so sure that you are in the right directory? You have to check it, right? You have to double check it. How to do that? See here, present working directory. If you do that command, pwd command, it will show you the current path you are in. Yes, Vidyadhar is giving me that answer. Very nice. Yes, present working directory. If you hit it, it will show you the location where you are in. So you have to double check before you are creating the web pages. Then what is the first web page name?